Right, it's the Bride Queen, and I'm live again. I don't know why there was like so much like issues with the first live that I did. I think maybe it's because my energy is very like strong, or the energy is very strong, and like I feel like there's just like this like light just like beaming down into my body, and so that could be why, and it's like incompatible with the limitations of this platform. I need to like calm down, but I'm also like feeling like this is a part of it. But as I was saying, like my last video is like this huge emphasis on trusting yourself. And like the will of the soul. Like you're extremely powerful, and like the reason that I know that you're extremely powerful is because I've been seeing myself be extremely powerful, and I've literally had to like be telling myself like, Jabria, be careful what you think, be careful what you like think in your mind, because of how it will instantly manifest. And 7:55, and because of this is how I know, even though sometimes I doubt, but we're also letting go of doubt. But this is how I know that like all my dreams can and will come true, like even beyond what I wish, because I'm like, if these little bitty things that I ask for can come true immediately, like there's no way that it's impossible for the bigger things that I want to not be true as well. And I'll just give you an example of like what I mean by like be careful with my thoughts, because the other day I manifested something and I was like, damn, I felt so bad I literally cried. But I was at work and I was like, I don't want to like be with this certain kid because he can be like difficult to deal with. I was like, I want to like relax or like go home. And I thought that, and I was like, I want to go home. I don't want to do this anymore. Like I'm tired. I want to rest and I want to relax. And like as soon as I got the kid, like he was already like not very expressive. And then somebody said, looking very bright indeed. I'm telling you, there's somebody that's like watching these videos and it's like making me blush, but we'll just go with it. Anyway, I was thinking these things, and then I got the kid, and literally like 2 minutes later, like he was like lying on the floor in his room, and he was like sick. He was like, my stomach hurts. And then like we checked his temperature, and he had a temperature of like 101.4. And I was like, oh my God. Like I was sitting here like manifesting, like being like getting to go home, and like the closest, I'm just gonna describe it as this, the closest reality to like what I wanted was this version of like where the kid gets sick and he had to go home. And I felt so bad because I was like, oh my gosh, like now this little baby is sick, and like I was wanting like to relax. And so I've been like having to tell myself like, be careful what I think, and like with my manifestation, like be accepting of like reality as it is, and open to just receiving the Most High at all times. Because when you do it in this way, that way it's like, for one, you're always kind of like enjoying like all parts of it, so you really don't like need to like manifest anything else. But then that way, like when you do set the intention to manifest something, it's not like something you didn't want, if that makes sense. Because like if you think about like Greek mythology, right, because I've been reading Song of Achilles, right, and like how like these people will like try to like, they'll like get their fate. Like for example, I'm reading Song of Achilles, like he becomes this great legendary hero, but at the same time he also dies young. And so it's like, let's say he wanted that, like he wanted that fame, he wanted to become legendary, he wanted to be like this grand person. It's like two things can be true at once. You can get that, and you also can, your life can be cut short. And so that's what I mean about like being more like open with manifestations. And something else I think you can like think about in terms of like visualizing this, and I'll be sure to put this video in the description once this is like no longer live. But the Alchemist 369, he was describing like major life events, or like things that you planned before you got here that are like major events. And he was saying like this is why you'll have like people that are doing like well, and then suddenly they'll get like shot down. He said it's because like your soul already planned something like for you to happen at a certain time and in a certain way. And like if you've manifested like I want this kind of life, if it's not syncing up to align with what you pre-planned, like that thing has to happen no matter what, because you said so. And so you'll like, if you're over here, it'll be a big drop. Does that make sense? To like get to this place. And Alchemist 369, he like drew it out, and like he makes more sense of it. But this is just an example of like what I mean by knowing your power. Like, know how powerful you are, and be careful what you think. Because if you you watched my most recent live that I just did, it's just like a continuation of that. And I spoke about how like I was feeling like miserable, and like my week, like I was like going to work and like waking up, and even on the weekends, like just feeling like this isn't enough. I don't like how this is. It was mostly with work though, because I honestly don't want to like do this kind of work forever. But my life is like my life, and there's no reason why I should ever be suffering or be miserable. Because if you think about it, like I'm wherever the party is, like I'm the best place on earth to be, and so wherever I am is the best place. And the only person that like says that's not true is me. You know, the only person who gets to decide whether or not that's true or not is me. But I realized, like, I remember something at work happened, and I like felt like shamed and embarrassed about it. It was because I was already like feeling that shame myself, and I literally like manifested it outside of myself. Yeah, and I feel like hopefully I've gotten my point across. I'm trying to see what else I was meant to say. Give me a moment. Okay. He's so happy I'm here. Look. He loves me so much. He's like obsessed with me. Hey, kitty. It's so funny. I came home and I saw the back door had been left open, and I was like, Kitty. I was like, Kitty, where you go? I was like, because he's a house cat, he doesn't go outside, and I was like scared that he like had left out. And like I heard somebody say like, girl, he's upstairs in your bed. And I still like was like, but is he though? And like I saw him, and like in my mind's eye, like upstairs in my bed, and I was still like, but what if he's not? And then I came up here and he was exactly where like I saw that he was. And so that was cool. I feel like that's also something. But yeah, this is a great time to let go of doubt, like let go of doubt completely. And I'm going to talk about something that might like shift the energy. I'm not sure, but it's very high right now. I hope you can feel it through like my energy, like the joy. Like there's a lot of joy right now. And I guess what I'm saying is like, it's beneficial, even though like, I don't know, it'll sound like more tragic. But anyways, as I've said many times now, I live in Texas, and I've been saying this because like it's a big deal for me to say that, especially continuously. Anyways, there was recently this huge like flooding that happened in this state, where a lot of people like drowned and died. A lot of people like missing, things like that. And I remember like it's always my mama. I got home and my mama had eventually like put on the news, and she was like, imagine like your whole house, like imagine like water that was that strong. That's how much water it was. She was being like all these like dramatic. She was like, the water was so strong it like knocked over their whole houses and stuff like that. And I was just like, you already said that. I can be mean sometimes, but yeah, I'm learning. I was like, wait, are we just gonna keep sitting here and like watching this same thing over and over? Like, we already know a bunch of people died. It was due to a flood. The warning didn't come fast enough. Whatever. Like now, what are we gonna do about it? Like, we're gonna sit here and just keep festering on the wound, or like, what are we gonna do about it? And then afterwards, like, I felt kind of guilty because I was like, man, like, I'm not doing anything about it. I'm not doing anything about the fact that like people are like drowning, and like there's like these environmental issues and like issues with like nature and like that are manipulated. It's manipulation and like these targeted attacks and shit like that. And then I was like, yes, I am. Like, the whole point of everything that I'm doing is to wake myself up, to remember myself, and to return myself to the home that I am already. And I'm also doing this, and the reason it's public, the reason it's public, I feel like, is for my own healing, but it's also for, you know, other people to wake up and to remind me shit. Like, people reminding me and waking me up and giving me codes and giving me downloads, and me sharing as well, vice versa. But like, in my mind, like, the final plan is the final like grand scheme of things. The end goal is to return everybody to full true remembrance, to return everybody to that sacred place within, where it's without, of love, where the internal reality matches the external reality of like love, just like pure like love. And it's the energy that I'm feeling now. And like, in that reality, in that space, and in that like end goal, there's no such thing as like being afraid of like drowning or dying. There's no such thing as drowning at all, because like, you can fly, or you can shift yourself to be able to breathe in water. Or maybe in this kind of reality, like, water doesn't drown, water doesn't suffocate you. It's not so dense, it's not so heavy. Or I was even thinking, like, if people like were more into what I'm doing, which I don't like to even talk in those terms, but for lack of better wording, like, let's say one of the kids or one of the parents there, just one or just five or just six, were tapped into their own senses, their own sensitivities, their own intuition, they could have seen this shit coming. They could have warned everybody and told us, like, get the fuck out of here. Like, in those Final Destination movies, like, that one person that trusted themselves, and that's what I'm talking about this whole video. That one person that trusted themselves, even though people probably was like, they crazy as fuck. Like, it's worth it, you know, if it's gonna save all these people's lives. If it was just one person that would have done that, it would have been tapped in. One person that like knew about out-of-body experiences, knew about in-body experiences, had this information unlocked within them, we could have avoided the whole thing wouldn't have even happened. You know what I mean? And so, like, from this perspective, that's why the work that I'm doing, the work that we're doing, is like the work. It's the work, because this is the end goal, or the work that we're doing. It supersedes all of this shit. That's what I be telling my friend, even though we still get them there. That's what I be telling my friend or everybody when they like, because I'm not gonna lie, because of my energy and who I am, like, a lot of people come to me, they just do, they just know this is my position, I'm Big Mama. And people come to me and they like tell me about these things, and I'm like, well, if you start doing this in your life, like, I feel like it can be difficult for people to understand these connections and how these things connect. But I'm like, if you do this, if you start doing these practices, then all of this other shit will no longer even be relevant. And I remember telling somebody that in a reading recently, I guess sort of recently, where they were concerned about like their family and how their family would be okay and the well-being of their family. And I was like, you're the crux, you're the centerpiece to your whole reality. If you are okay, your outside has to be okay. If you're fine, if you're doing well, it has no choice but to reflect that on the outside. I was like, why is he paused? Like, why is he posed like that? Like, as soon as I look back, he jumped down. But yeah, and that's not to say that like bad things don't happen, quote unquote, but like I just feel like it's just like, do they though? You know what I mean? Like I've been saying about like the interference or fuckery or people like sending attacks to me or like people being envious or sending hate towards me. It just makes me even more happy when I'm able to overcome those things. I'm like, oh, like look at that. But yeah, and like just to give you like another like it's just all about perspective. There's probably a million proverbs, but I'll just give you examples from like my personal life where I think just yesterday or like the day before, my stepdad was like, yeah, like I know we've been like kind of down like in terms of like money and like finances. And I was like, shit, like I'm fucking rich. Like I'm rich as hell. Like that's all I've been thinking like this whole time. I'm like, I be telling my friends, I be telling me like I'm rich. Like I'm rich. I'm wealthy. I'm doing well. And like you can't tell me that there's not proof of that. Like you cannot tell me like that it's not everywhere. Every day, like I'm getting something. Every day I'm surprised by something that I get to receive. And it can literally be anything. Like my eyes were hurting from the sun being so bright and then a cloud comes over. Like you cannot tell me that that's not wealth. Like come on. Like a bitch controlling the sky. Like you know what I mean? And so like when you are this person, when you are this being, when you are here and you are convinced and you are absolutely sure of the truth, there's nothing that could like be wrong. Like if you are a river, there's no pebble or rock that's like too heavy or misplaced. A river, I feel like it's perfect. It's perfection just as it is. There's nothing that you could like toss into it that would like stop it from being a river. You know what I mean? And just take this metaphor or whatever analogy very lightly. I don't mean it literally. I just mean it in terms of you, who you are, babes. I remember I was in China and I was walking home to my apartment, and it was like this festival. I forget, I think it was something about this ghost lady. They have a lot of like holidays in China. I didn't know that. Like every fucking week it was like something. And one of them was like where they like light these incense on the like outside for their ancestors, like for people who died. And I walked by one of them, and like I walked by like a few of them. You feel the energy, and I was like, that's a little girl over there. Like she's sad. She died young. And then one of them I walked by, and it was just this energy of this person. Why the hell are there? Where the fuck are these ants coming from? I know I've like said that like 3 times, but like they've just been like appearing from nowhere. Like where are they coming from? I'll fix it. I'll fix it soon. As soon as this is over. Anyway, I walked by one and I just started laughing like uncontrollable. Like somebody had just like told like the funniest fucking joke, and it was because of like the energy of that person. And I knew the people around me probably like felt so insulted because that was a very sacred moment of them lighting the incense for their ancestors. But I was like, I'm talking to them right now. Like they're saying something funny, so I'm laughing. And like I wasn't afraid of like being the odd man out. Plus the people, they're pretty polite when they're not like cussing at people for driving, but in general they're pretty polite. And I remember thinking, like, my intuition was just like, take a picture of like the smoke coming from the incense on the ground, like you'll see them. And so I did, and later that night I was in my room and I like zoomed in on the smoke, and it was a face in there. It was a face in the smoke, and that had this huge grin on its face that was like this, like laughing. And I was like, I fucking said it. That there was somebody there laughing. And I'll see if I can find it. I'm sure I can, and I'll post it on my community post section on this YouTube page with the link to this video, so that somehow it's the relevance is established. But I keep hearing now that it's time to talk about the Hermit card, and then we'll call it a night, even though this has been so fun. I feel so like I said, energetic, rejuvenated. I feel like there's a lot pouring into me right now, and I'm very grateful to be able to share this through these waves, you know. So on the way home, I saw a turtle, and it made me very excited. I don't know why, but I was so happy. There was this guy, one of my neighbors, and he was like picking up this turtle, and I slammed the brakes, and I was like, it's a turtle. And I got out, and I was like, oh my gosh. And I was talking to him, and he was like, this isn't my turtle. Like, he was like, I just found this turtle. He said it was caught on a root in the neighbor's yard. And so he was like, I'm about to like pick him up and take him down to the pond that we have at the end of our neighborhood. And I was like, oh my gosh. And he was like, you can like join, like you can come watch and like take a picture and show your friends. And I was like, I don't think my friends would be as excited as I am about this. And you know, what's so interesting is last night I discovered this writing. I used to write a lot. Instead of talking, I used to write a lot. This writing that I did, and it was like very like heavy about like what I wrote about my life at the time, and like how I felt so like isolated and like didn't have any friends. And like I had friends, but like, you know, I was just very like guarded and like closed off. And like I love how like now I can say something like that. Like I don't think my friends would be as excited about it, and like still feel happy because I accept myself. Like I know like tomorrow or even tonight I can like text this or send the video that I took of the turtle to somebody, and I'll be like, oh my God, like this made me so happy. And like the thing about like love is like you don't have to like get it to like to love. Like love doesn't need any love takes all the excuses. It doesn't need like a reason to love. I know that like my friends and my family who I sent it to would be happy because I was happy, you know, because they loved me. And that's something I didn't understand before. And so I feel like all of this is like included in this message. I just love turtles. Turtles came up in my video what I had on like the green, where I talked about like there was a masculine who was going through it. And I remember there was a turtle on the card from the Medicine Woman Tarot, which is over there. And I never explained why it was important. It was because in the movie Brothers that I saw, the little girl had a turtle at the dinner table. It was a toy turtle. And she was explaining to the group of adults, and the adults pretended that they didn't know what she, like, the information that she was going to explain to them. And she was like, the thing about a turtle is like when they get afraid, they go inside. They tuck their little hands and their feet and their head inside, and they pretend like they're a rock. And so when predators see them, they think that they're a rock and they leave them alone. And that was the energy of like that reading, like whoever that message was for, specifically this masculine, divine masculine person who those messages were about, they were like they were being attacked, or they were in defense mode, or they were like in that like tower moment mode. And so they had like pulled themselves in to like this turtle, like hidden rock position, like the hermit. And it's so crazy because I typically don't take tarot cards with me in my backpack, but I did today, and I took this deck specifically. And this deck specifically, the Hermit card is the turtle. So give me a moment as I like search for it, and you feel free to leave a comment or give a thumbs up, or you know, comment something if you. The Empress and the Emperor are right by each other, and like they're separated by this card, which is like these eggs that are getting ready to hatch. So cute. Oh my gosh. I've been such like a little love bug. I didn't always used to be this way. I remember watching that movie like What's Killing Gilbert Grape or something like that. And he had like his obese mother, and his girlfriend like came to see his mother who was so ashamed of herself. And the first thing the mother said to the girlfriend who she was like ashamed of herself in front of was like, I didn't always used to be this way. And I never forget, like, I don't remember shit else about that movie, but I'll never forget the girl responded, I didn't always used to be this way either. And like that just always just sat with me. I didn't always used to be this way. I'm happy that I'm this way now. So I found it, and it's right next to the devil card. So in this deck, the turtle, and we're not gonna shy away from this energy, because I got so many signs today. It was so funny. I went to this bookstore and they didn't have the book that I wanted, but when I got in the bookstore, they were playing this song that meant a lot for me. When I got out of the bookstore, they were playing this song by Miley Cyrus called Angels Like You, and she was like, angels like you can fly down here with me. And I went into like the store next to the bookstore to get something to drink. When I came out, I saw a license plate and it said Devilish. And I was like, oh my gosh, like the song Angels Like You was just playing. And so I feel like there's somebody that's feeling like unworthy, like they're not worthy of something, because that's what that song Angels Like You is about. Like, you're too good to like be amongst my kind, like something like that. And so it's so interesting that it's right here by this Hermit card. So as I mentioned before, go check it out if you haven't watched it yet. In my video called A Masculine is Going Through It, I talked about the turtle, but I never explained why. I just explained why. I was talking about the turtle because it was in the movie Brothers. And the little girl was describing like the defense mechanism of the turtle. And so anyways, today I get home and there's this turtle. And so I go with my neighbor to the pond, because of course I did. I wasn't gonna miss out on it. He invited me to come look at as he put the turtle back into the pond. And before he got the turtle out of his car, he like was putting on gloves, and he said, this turtle is feisty. He said usually the turtles, because he said he does this often, because he said they're migrating right now. Like the turtles are migrating. And I don't know if you've noticed it where you live, but I've noticed like turtles have been in the road. They're migrating. I don't know where the hell they're going, but they've been moving. Somebody put in the comments if you know where they're going. But he does this often, and so he had these gloves, and he was like, usually if you like grab them on their sides, they duck their heads in immediately. Like they duck their heads in and they let you move them to where you want to move them to. But he said this turtle has been spicy. Like, the fuck? He said this turtle has been spicy, and like he said it's been snapping at me. And so like the energy now, the energy of the past has cleared. And the energy now of this turtle, of this masculine energy, is I'm not going down without a fight. Like, it's not going to retreat easily. 8:22 on the motherfucking time. The energy is like, I'm not going to let you intimidate me. I'm not gonna go down without a fight. I'm not gonna go away easily. I'm not gonna cave over. And what I'm feeling this as is something that's like, in terms of beliefs, is what I'm feeling like, I don't know, or like getting tricked by the illusions that somebody, like there's been like manipulation in terms of like how things appear to be or how things seem to be. It's like, for example, let's say like you had these marvelous plans to like start your own business, and then suddenly like this happened and you got to do this and you got to do this, and so now the thing that you wanted to launch and to birth is like stuck in the womb, or somebody's convinced you that it's decayed, but it's just an illusion. And like you started doubting, and you had these doubtful thoughts, and so those thusly created your reality, where those things turned out to be true, you know. And so the energy of this hermit person now, it's like, I'm not falling for that shit no more. And I feel called to like go ahead and like shuffle these. I'm not falling for it no more. And what's interesting is that the hermit card was about halfway through the deck. And so I feel like there's gonna be like this grand emergent. Oh, excuse me. It's very strong. Yeah, the star card, Ace of Cups. It's gonna be this grand emergence of this divine masculine energy of like, I don't know, like I'm out this bitch. Like I just feel something like that. I just feel like this kind of turned kind of energy. I remember, yeah, Son of Swords, like they're coming quickly. Like owls are quick as fuck. I feel like people don't talk about this. Not only are they quick, they're silent. They're very fucking silent. Like I remember watching a video of like a hawk or something versus like a owl like taking off. And owls, like you couldn't hear shit. They're like silent. So this is gonna be something that's like very quick and out of nowhere, and they just fucking emerge. But I remember in my sociology class, I was always so smart. I remember my teacher asked us this question about like, if a bear runs like halfway through the woods, where is it heading now? And like nobody in the class got it except for me. I was like, the bear is heading out of the woods. Do you get it? Like if something has already gone halfway into something, after that, in terms of half, like halves, the other half has to, you're now exiting. Does that make sense? And so with that Hermit card being like halfway, look at that, Daughter of Pentacles, with that Hermit card being halfway through the deck, they were entering this like hard time, this tower moment, this tumultuous time. They are now exiting this time. And it's going to be very quick. It is happening very, very quickly and very quietly. And it's going to come out with a pow, like it's going to come out with a bang. I don't know. I'm just seeing like this scene in a movie where like everything is like quiet and like you hear it's like so loud, and then everybody's like, what's that sound? Like what's that coming from? And then suddenly it's like boom, it's like there, hit you out of nowhere. It's reminding me of one of my favorite movies called Night and Day with what's his name, Cameron Diaz and Tom Cruise, and they're like in Spain, and there's these gigantic doors. That's how you know there were giants, because there's these gigantic doors that don't make any sense, and you just hear this motorcycle going and it's like coming up, coming closer, but you're thinking it's gonna burst through this big ass door because there's like a big ass door right there, but they don't. Instead, they burst through this very like small door, like inside of the big door. They burst through, and so like I said, like this is something like it's unexpected. Like it's unexpected. It's quick. It's quiet. Motorcycles are very fast, and I feel like motorcycles, and also with there just being one bird, in this imagery. Look at these eyes have been like staring at me the whole time. Hey, koala. I feel like with this imagery, it's like this person has a newfound sense of independence. Like, it's kind of like the theme that I've been saying this whole time, but also something more. It's like independence, like on their own, like, but like trusting just yourself, like really trusting your instinct. I feel that whomever this person is or whoever this information like was in regards to, although it could be multiple people, seeing 33 on the time again, they have this newfound sense of like, I'm trusting myself. I'm never gonna doubt myself again, because I almost said that first, but then I hesitated. Like that hesitation of like speech with the throat. And yesterday my throat was like going in and out, like my throat going in and out. Oh my gosh, my voice was going in and out. And like right now it's very strong. I have a very strong, like clear voice this whole time. And it's like, I'm never gonna doubt myself again, because I just know, I just feel like this person like has like very good instincts, very good intuitive like nudges, and they were like doubting them in order to like help, or like going slow for somebody else. Like I'm seeing like, you know, those sack races. I remember we used to do them at my family reunion, where like two people like share a bag, like one person like put a like, or like you tie two people's legs together and you have to like hop like that kind of race. Like somebody was like slowing themselves down in order to like accommodate another person, in order to like get both people to the finish line. And I feel like this person didn't like cut them damn ties, like cut them off. And I feel like this was a very hard thing for this person to do. It did not feel good at all. There's a lot of pain. I feel like a lot of tears. I'm feeling my eyes are burning now. But now this person is independent. And you know something that's so interesting about like the example that I just gave about the motorcycle from the movie Night and Day is that there were two people on that motorcycle, but because it's specifically a motorcycle and not a car, you can tell it's two people. You see them, it's two separate people on different sides of the car. But a motorcycle, if there's two people on a motorcycle, they look like one, because they're lined up, one person here and one person there. They look like one. They are in union. And so that's how I feel like this person is now. And I'm also hearing now, like, finding someone with like matching capabilities. And these are all the words I'm saying, and for lack of better words, okay? I don't mean to imply that anybody is any less than anybody else, but it feels like this person is like very clear now on like, I don't need to settle. I don't need to be like waiting on somebody. I don't need to like slow myself down in order to like just to stick with somebody. Like from now on, like, and then that scene in Night and Day specifically, like that whole like scene after that, like showed the equality of Cameron Diaz's character and Tom Cruise's character, where the whole time Tom Cruise was like the man of the story. Like he was the one that like had all the moves and knew all the spy shit. And then they separated, and like Cameron Diaz like stood up on her own. Like she became like more spy-ish and doing all this cool shit, right? And then at that scene, like they literally like were switching positions. Like he was driving and he was in front, then she like switched across from him and then she was in front. Like this person now is requiring like an equal match. Like I can go to sleep and let this other person take the wheel, whereas before it was like only they could drive, because only they like knew where to go, only they knew how to maneuver this specific like vehicle, only they knew like how to handle it, like things like that. And now this person is like not accepting. They're allowing themselves to accept the best. They're allowing themselves to accept the highest, but I also feel like this person is still kind of nervous and scared. It feels like a new fish out of water, or like getting their feet back underneath them, because I keep seeing this imagery from the movie Luca, and like the first time the boy got out of the water, like it had to like use his human legs and like figure out how to maneuver like this new world, like away from the sea. It's so interesting how like ocean has come up multiple times. Okay, is there anything else? Anything else you're wanting us to know? I'm just feeling like very happy. I'm seeing in my mind now Full House. Look at this. 6 of Cups. So this is definitely yeah. So Full House, and then they have that show Fuller House, right? So it's like, and then this 6 of Cups energy. It feels like someone like going back to like get what they like fucking wanted the whole time. What is this? What is this from? I'm seeing like a movie or something where like someone wanted somebody like the whole time, but they were like married or like, and they're trying to do what their parents said or something like that, like listening to other people, and like at the end they were like, fuck that shit, and they like leave the church or leave something, and they go back to like the diner where the girl worked and like just grab her and like kiss her. Like you just like say fuck all that shit, like fuck it, I'm not doing that anymore, I'm gonna go and get who I want. That's how this feels. I know there's like that movie from that scene from Jerry Maguire with also Tom Cruise, where he like goes and he's like, you complete me. Like that whole scene where he like leaves like the Super Bowl or whatever the fuck he was at, like leaves the big business trip and like flies back home and like runs there and like stops what's his name, Renee in the middle of her living room, and he's like, "You complete me." And then she's like, "You had me at hello." Like it's like that kind of feeling. I'm seeing 8:33 on the time, and it was 33 views on my last live. I'm getting tired. I feel like this person like has been staying up late, like planning. I'm seeing them like writing. They've been up late writing things out, and I just feel like their mind always wanders to you or whoever like this divine feminine person is. Their mind always wanders to them. I'm seeing like Noah from The Notebook. I guess another example would be even Allie, and this is why I always say like this is not about gender. But yeah, that's kind of what Allie did. Not in such a dramatic way, but like she's like, okay, like I got this guy, what's his name, Lon or whatever the fuck his name was, and he's like what my family wants me to do. He's what's socially appropriate for me to like be with, you know, and marry. And like the moment that he proposed to Allie, she immediately thought of Noah. And like I remember Noah was like, he was up late like working, and like I think he was in the army, he was doing all these different things, and like every time like he had like the moments in the dark and the quiet, he immediately thought of Allie. And like that's the feeling I'm getting, like somebody's up late, eyes burning the midnight oil. Give me a second, I'm gonna close this window because I just feel like it's attracting little insects into my humble abode. Alright, make sure this is closed, right? I feel like even this is like a part of the message, like closing the windows. Like I just feel like this person is like closing like if ands and maybes is what I'm feeling, like closing off any like maybes, because they know now, and this information is very important despite this little feeling that I'm getting that it's not, and that I'm going on too long, but I'm not. This information is important, so I'm gonna share. But yeah, I just see someone, like I've said before, it's this energy of like other people being like go with this option, like do this, and they're like, no, like I know what I want, I know who I want, I know where I want to be, and I know it doesn't make sense to you, but it makes sense to me, and I'm gonna go do it. Like I'm just gonna leave and I'm gonna go do it. I'm seeing somebody just like leaving a lot behind. I'm seeing someone like just leaving everything behind and like saying, I'm going to do this and I'm gonna figure it out after it's done. There is nothing like I'm hearing more powerful than like someone who's like made up their mind. Yeah, and then like this Two of Pentacles, it's like I'm hearing, if I ain't got you, baby, if I ain't got you, baby. Some people want diamonds, and some just want everything, but everything means nothing. If I ain't got you, some people want it all, but I don't want nothing at all. If it ain't you, baby, if I ain't got you, baby. Like, I'm hearing that song, like, that's how somebody feels, because this is specifically like Two of Pentacles. Like, it's to do with materialization. It's to do with like the material world. And I just feel like this person is like, I don't need nothing. Like, I feel like they've like realized it. Like, I don't need nothing like but myself. And like what their self wants is a very specific person, or for some people it might not be a person, it might be a place, it might be a certain career path, but it's something definitely in the material world that they want. And it's like once they like follow that, it's not about like having someone or like having like a house or a job or anything like that. It's about the merging of like their desire with it, like the physical action of going to accommodate and get that desire fulfilled. Like, it's about the desire like meeting the physicality. That's the union. And like once, you know, that feeling of like, that's how I've been feeling recently. Like, I've been like feeling called to do things, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to spend the money. I don't want to drive all the way to that place. But once I follow my intuition and just do it and just buy it, I feel like this feeling of just peace. Like, thank God you listened to me. That's the union of the soul, like, with the body. I don't know if that, like, even makes sense or is even what I'm trying to portray. But I feel like I could go on and on. So I'm gonna move to the next one. So next we have the Nine of Pentacles. This is like someone who's like, I feel like somebody who's waited a long time. Like I was saying, I was getting the energy of like Noah, and even like the movie Night and Day, where there was like that time in between. Like this is somebody who's waited. I'm seeing somebody who's like salivated. Like they've been looking at something or someone and like wanting it so bad. What card is this? Yeah. That's why this looks like the little thing where you pick up the cheese, like you eat. Like they've been looking at something, someone, like a delicacy. They're like, I have been wanting you, and this person has been waiting. I feel like they've been like biding their time, and I also feel like they've been trying to apply like methodologies from the past to the present, and I feel like yes, in some cases like it was needed, like the patience and to wait and to like gather things, but also like there's this, I feel like this feeling of like hesitation and fear, like it's time now, or maybe they've been like, it's been time for a while and I've still been like in that delayed hermit mode. What card is this? Oh, they're saying no. Okay. But they've been waiting and like I'm gonna give this thing everything I got. It's like literally like someone who like, I don't know, like saved up for like a car like for months or years, and like when they go buy that car, they gonna bring a whole goddamn duffel bag of like all the money that they like saved for that car. Like I don't know, I also just feel like another, to continue consistency, like Noah from the Notebook, like I feel like he was always such a deep poetic person, deeply feeling person, and so he had all that emotion saved up in him. And so when he saw Allie, he like put out everything on the line. He was like, who's that? Who's that? Who is she? And like immediately he was like, the moment she got off that damn bumper car, he was like hot on her, like white on rice. He's like, who are you? Like it feels like that, like somebody that was waiting. And then once like the ball drops her, once it's time, they were like, oh, it's so cute. And then the Sun card. So like not only is this like in a very explosive energy, it's quiet right now, it's out of nowhere, it's unexpected, it feels very permanent. Like the sun is not a temporary thing, it's not something shooting across the sky, it's not a light bulb, right? It's not a battery, it's not a flashlight on a phone. This is the sun, okay? This is the sun. It is here to stay. You know what I mean? Like it's like, and that's why also like the waiting. That's why the waiting. That's why the hunting. That's why the gathering. I feel like somebody went back to like their very like the basics, like this preparing a meal for something, preparing something for someone. It's they also spent this time like making sure that they want to do it the right way. They want to give it the best they've got. And I do feel like there's a little bit of nervousness on like whether or not like the best they've got will be accepted, even though they know it will. Like they know they have very good strong intuition, but there's still like this little bitty like how I was talking about Kitty. Like I felt that there was nothing wrong. I felt that he was safe up here in my bed, but I still was like, but is he gonna be there? Like, or did he sneak out the door? Did he leave me forever? Did he go away? Like it was just like this still like feeling that maybe, even though I knew for sure. But this is beautiful. I feel like I could like go on and on and on and on, but I need to go eat. I need to like start like resting and shit. I'm so happy. I'm very happy, and I'm very proud of myself, especially like I said, because last night I found this document that I wrote, and just like the growth, it took years, but like the growth that I've achieved. Like, I saved my own life. Like, it's just, I encourage you, if you're one of those people who like writes or like, I don't know, go look at your old photographs and like feel your energy there, and then like look at yourself now and just be like, damn, like, look at me. Like, I've done so well for myself. I even manifested Kitty. I remember I was in college and I was walking around a lot during the spiritual awakening time, and there was this orange cat in the window of one of the dorms. And I remember telling my mom, I was like, I want a cat, I want an orange cat. And she was like, no. We're not getting a cat at our house. We already have a dog. And then a few years later, my sister got a cat, and then my sister moved in, and now he sleeps with me all the time, and he's always in my bed. 8:44. Ain't that right, Kitty Manini? Ain't that right? You love me so much. You love me so much. He's a little bird. You love me so much. You do. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe, share, comment, and if you'd like to like work with me personally, connect with me personally, that's available too. You can contact me via my email that'll be in the description, and I'm sending you all of it. I'm sending you all of it. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye.